Alright, what's up, everybody? It's Terminator Juice. It's been a minute since I did a Juice Opinions. I think the last one was my E3 predictions back on June 3rd. So, anybody who clicked on my last little upload, took some highlights from that into like a 6-minute video. Basically, I called, not 100%, but I called pretty closely what the Nintendo Switch OLED was. In many discussions with the crew, Juice Loose crew, we have always discussed what we actually thought, a revision would be. We always mention the kickstand. We always mention internal memory. So that's one thing I didn't specify in that video, but I called the bigger screen with the smaller bezel, the system being the same size, and even predicted and theorized they could improve the speakers if there's more room. I was thinking maybe they would shrink the battery, and we don't know. I guess someone said that it is the same size battery, but the OLED screen is definitely going to be thinner than a backlit LCD. So whatever room they had, improved speakers was one of the things that I threw out there. And then other than that, it was just common sense stuff, and just I reiterated over and over that there wasn't going to be some what's up, Falcon? There wasn't going to be any 4K or DLSS or anything super powered. Um, Basically, the whole point of that video. Why am I getting? I'm getting on my OBS the chat update, but I'm not getting it. That's weird. I didn't get it on the pop out chat. What's up, Brebe? What's up, Donnie? Yeah, I was just kind of reiterating my last little upload where I was on June 3rd. I pretty much called the Switch OLED. I did say I thought maybe they would do a slight overclock on the CPU and just smooth out, maybe speed up some loading times and stuff. That is yet to remain to be seen. But since the battery life's identical, I'm thinking that it's not. But we'll have to see. The thing. Who knows what the improvements they made other than the screen being more efficient. The battery life could be the same, but they could maybe bumped up some of the stuff and just wasn't worth mentioning, or Nintendo doesn't do that kind of stuff. So anyway, it's nice to be rewarded by being correct, and calling something and being right, where all these news tubers and rumor reporting, what's up, Visor? All these rumor reporting people were just complete bullshit, and it's nice to just use logic and knowing the company and how they act, what they do and their handheld history, and just seeing the writing on the wall. I've obviously believed the rumors of the OLED screen because the very first report said it was going to be 720p, and I'm like, that just added to my belief that it wasn't going to be a super powerful or extra powerful machine, because why would you do all that and have a 720p screen? Doesn't make any sense. So we'll talk about the reveal. But yeah, I just want to reiterate, these guys getting 40,000 views, posting video after video about Switch Pro the last couple years. And the sad thing is, and this is legit sad, now they're trying to spin it as if Nintendo had to change their plan because of the chip shortages for like newer chips, and that this was supposed to be the Pro, and that they couldn't do it because of having component issues. And it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? I'll read that question in a second, but it's like, you're serious? And then, well, the Switch Pro is coming in 2022. This is just the precursor. Put out a $350 OLED Switch, and then next year put out a Pro version. Not even Nintendo does that stuff. Maybe by the end of its life, there'll be another late revision like they did with the 3DS, the 2DS, the new 2DS XL, something random that happens, but pretty much, you know, this is going to be the Switch for at least 2 more years, unless the other option would be to do the Switch Lite OLED, since it's a handheld only, to improve the screen. Maybe they could put a bigger OLED on that without increasing the size of the system. I could see that happening. So you heard it here first. I wonder if they fixed the heating issue. I see they redid the dock with vents, so they don't know. So they do know it's an issue. I don't know of anybody overheating other than when your fan's not working. I haven't heard of any major issues just because of the dock. Those vents, there's still a kickstand in the way. That whole back of that's a kickstand. There's no vents in the back of the Switch, so that's basically just gonna let some heat instead of warming up the plastic. It's not like there's anything sucking that heat out. So I'm not sure what that is. The top vents look a little bit different, I think. We'll have to see. Did they put a bigger fan in there? Did they put a better fan? Did they put a smaller fan? I know OLEDs are known to have heating issues if you try to have them be, if it's all white, just like plasmas, they consume quite a bit of power, and that's anybody who ever watched a like in-depth review of an OLED, they always talk about the auto limiter or brightness limiter, because an OLED, if it's full screen white and it's bright, it'll get so hot and use up so much power that they don't have a solution yet to have an OLED be as bright as an LCD when it's full white, like full screen white. It can do like a 10% window. IGN has hands-on of the OLED. That's new, so no one linked that, so I don't know if that's new. I'm curious. I don't have it set up to share my screen, but I could make a quick change. Let me check that out. I'd be curious. I'll probably have to watch that later. Let's see here. Is it on the YouTube channel or is it right up on the website? I don't see it on their YouTube channel. So it's curious. I'll be curious. I'll have to check that out if they have that. So anyway, a lot of these guys were wrong, but now they're trying to say that, you know, it was intended to be the Pro and they had to change. So you're telling me, end of May, Nintendo made that change that quickly, from the end of May when this Pro was guaranteed to get shown before E3, and in less than a month, or just over a month, they have completely changed the design of the Switch Pro. Are you fucking kidding me? That shit is just funny. Really think that they had time? That the Switch OLED, the OLED screen was first reported last year at some point. This thing's been designed and completed for a long time, tested. You know, they didn't change anything. So it's just sad that, you know, Super Metal Dave's now trying to say that he's just been speculating over rumors and looking at the rumor as if true, and he's not been taking it as real, and, you know, hasn't said that it was for sure. I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. You've been riding the Switch Pro train for 2 years. Those views, Metroid Prime, leaks and rumors that nothing ever came. No information has came from Metroid Prime, from Retro Studios. You know, taking one little snippet of one little article and making a whole video about it, and then time and time again, when you're wrong, I said it's okay to have the hustle, but don't be surprised when your fan base expects or calls you out when you've been wrong time after time, because at some point people expect results. Some people are saying the Pro will drop in 2 years, but at that point the Switch have 6 years old. They might as well start gearing up for next gen. Now that's the other half. There's two halves of the Switch Pro rumor people. One are saying next year or this the OLED was supposed to be the Pro, and now it might not happen. And the others are saying, well, it was just the next gen system the whole time. But anyway, what's up, Real Gun? That was your comment. They kept the OLED in the bullpen just in case those chips didn't come in. Yeah, they've had the whole system designed without a chip upgrade this whole time, just ready to go, and it's going to be ready in October. And get the fuck out of here. It's using the exact same chip that the current Switch uses, so they've just been having these things mass produced for the last, since 2019 when that revision. Was it 2019 they had the extended battery life revision? Yeah, I think it was 2019. They've been stockpiling this new the Tegra Marico, I think it's called, or whatever it's called. That's more than twice as efficient as the original Tegra that's in the launch day Switch that I have. That gets 3 hours of battery life. They've been stockpiling the components. They're planning on selling 30 million this year. What's up, Trizzy? They've been planning on selling 30 million. You're telling me that 30 million estimate included a Switch Pro with chips that weren't guaranteed. They're not going to tell investors they're going to sell 30 million if there's a question mark about supply. So just shut the fuck up. Acknowledge and admit that you were wrong and that you were just talking bullshit, and move on. Just talk about the future potential for Switch if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to talk about games and the Switch as it is, don't be salty Switch protheist out here eating Maine. Gotta get that Google check. What's up, T? It's just like at some point, just I really thought the Switch Pro was coming. It's not coming, and I was wrong. Move on. People will forget that real quick. Don't try to spin it now. I seen, and I'm gonna mention Super Metal Dave a bunch of times because he's been on the forefront of this. Remember the PlayStation Portable, guys? Remember the PlayStation Portable that was coming out to kill the Switch in late 2017 or 2018? You remember that? Dave went all in with that. Guess what? Where did that? Nothing. There wasn't even a patent or anything. It was just absolute bullshit. Remember the supplemental computing device that was going to boost the power? Remember when it was a PS4 Pro level home console with AMD's Polaris? You remember that? All this bullshit. Oh, it was going to be a Switch, going to be 4K. It was June 3rd. I was watching a stream. Yeah, they're gonna have exclusive games, but I think they pushed it past E3. So look to July or August. They're gonna reveal the Pro with the exclusive games, so the third parties can show off their games running on the Pro. That was said as factual information on June 2nd or 3rd, because I did my video the same when I was watching that one, and it made me want to make my video, because I'm like, you guys are taking this Switch Pro like it's a done deal official, and I made my video, and guess who was right? The person that said there was going to be a Pro with exclusive games in July, possibly August, shown, or the person who said it was going to be a minor upgrade with a bigger screen with a small bezel and possibly better speakers. I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah, he said, Alex, good point. And what's up is, or eyes, he was trying to say that he's just doing it for fun because it's fun to talk about rumors and speculate on if it's real. And it's like, yeah, that's what I was talking about, T. The Switch killer was the PlayStation Portable. Exactly. You can't say you were doing it for fun when you make these very serious videos saying you have sources. I remember the week before Doom Eternal was announced, the date before in November. I think it was late October, early November. My sources are telling me that the reason we haven't seen anything from Doom Eternal is because they're waiting to launch it with the Switch Pro. What's up, 12 feet? They're waiting to launch it with the Switch Pro in March. And a week later, Doom Eternal gets announced and released digitally on Switch, as is. What's up, Laker Link? Good to see everybody here. I want to be a Switch protheist when I grow up. It's just, like I said, on the Juices Loose podcast, we've always talked about the things that made sense for revision. An Ethernet port better kickstand, more internal memory, um, and you know, I don't know that we often said like a bigger screen, but I, mean, I know that was mentioned once or twice. Um, it was always gonna still have the same size, so the Joy Cons could snap in. It was always gonna be the same form factor. Um, you know, the only question was, would they do what I was predicting, a slight overclock, just to speed up loading times and maybe smooth out some of the performance. That could still be a thing. We don't know yet, but since they're pushing the 9-hour battery life in portable mode, I'm guessing. Um, Switch Pros come with PS6 graphics. Hell yeah. Um, so yeah. Anyway, the Pro is dead. There. Anybody who still uses the term Switch Pro, just don't click on the video. What's up, Capable Ty? Um, Same people who hyped up Switch Pro also hyped up Nintendo E3, saying there were going to be all these bombshell announcements. Yeah, if you consider Advance Wars, WarioWare as bombshell announcements, Mario Party remake as bombshell announcements. I mean, good games, solid. Usually, Mario Parties have had a rough road. But the other two have mostly been handheld, and that's the transition into that. T's here, and I made a video about why I think the Switch is a handheld first and foremost, and why I think Nintendo views it that way, and even third parties are viewing it that way. And I gave a bunch of reasons, mostly the whole design of the system. Everything about the system had to be designed around it being a handheld. Now, yeah, they've developed, the games with the dock and handheld in mind, but just the general build of the system, the size, the shape, the chipset in it, everything about it, battery, the screen, everything had to be thought of. I'd say I feel like 95% of the Switch was designed with the handheld, in mind, as we got to make sure the handheld part of it's fine, because the dock part's easy. Once whatever they have that lets it know it's plugged into a dock, and it just kicks into the GPU, ramps up, and it connects to if you have a wired Ethernet port, Ethernet adapter on your dock. That's all it needs to do. That's all it does. That part of it could have came in the last month of development, like really. So you look at the OLED, what do you get? You get a bigger, and hopefully it's to the standard of OLED TVs. You're getting an amazing screen. What's that help you with? Portable mode doesn't help you with docked at all. You're getting better speakers. Portable has nothing to do with hooked up to your TV. That you gain nothing by that. The internal memory, it's a equal across both. The kickstand, if you have this thing docked, that kickstand doesn't matter whatsoever. So the three of the biggest changes, the biggest one being the screen, I'd say the kickstand was 2 as far as improvements, and then the speakers and LAN adapter or Ethernet port are probably equal, and the memory is like, yeah, whatever. Let's see, Yuki, what's up? Now people said Switch 2 coming next year. That's stupid because Switch OLED comes soon. Yeah, there's Switch 2 2023 probably, maybe 2024. Hopefully not though. Yeah, I should have finished my thought before moving on. But anyway, it's a handheld. T, I think, kind of jumped on board finally with my train of thought. Like, they obviously are catering more to the handheld. They're so, like, they were quick to point out as one of the top things was the battery life. What's up, Rohan? The battery life. What does that benefit? Portable mode. That makes no difference to being docked. The only thing that affects being docked specifically is the Ethernet port, which replaces the USB 3. So you're losing the USB 3 and you're getting an Ethernet port. Pretty fair trade-off. I think most people use that USB port on the back. It's just unfortunate all you have now is the 2 side USBs. If you wanted to have like a Wi-Fi USB headset, you have to have it in the side of the dock. You can't put it in the back. All right, let's see. People said Switch 2. Let's see. OLED Switch also proves your point that Nintendo considers a Switch. Yeah, I think you probably typed that before I went on this little part. Exactly. In the dock, it just sits there. In fact, that you can take it out with you. Portable was a large focus of it. Should be, since it's a hybrid. Yeah, I mean, once it's a hybrid, they have to. Almost every major decision has to be that it works as a handheld. Like I said, chipset, the amount of power it can have, the battery has to, they got to make room for the battery, so the other sacrifices they got to fit the battery, the screen. Trojan horse console, that's a good one because it is a Trojan horse. You're buying it, you bought it as Nintendo's next console, and then you're getting a lot of what the handhelds get, even with the revisions. Home consoles don't get revisions from Nintendo. Yeah, more stable cloud games. I don't know. One thing that I don't know that's been addressed is the Wi-Fi antenna been improved? I know they were hiring somebody with experience with like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Um, you gamers want more power in these consoles instead of great quality exclusive games. I don't know about you gamers, but I know there are. I don't know that they're gamers. I know there's a lot of people. I think level-headed gamer who I used to, we used to talk a lot back in the day on Wii U. He was like really pissed about it. I'm like I said, that's the other thing I want to talk about. I said, you only have yourself to blame if you're mad that the Switch Pro isn't super powerful 4K DLSS machine. That being said, I have no issue with somebody being disappointed with the Switch OLED, being disappointed with Nintendo, but not because it isn't 4K with DLSS. That I still believe is your fault for believing the rumors and the people who reported the rumors. If you're going to be mad about anything, be mad that Nintendo didn't improve the Joy-Cons. They didn't add ergonomics. They didn't add more Bluetooth so you could have a Bluetooth headset without buying a little adapter plugged into your USB Type-C at the bottom of your system. That's the kind of stuff you should be mad at. Be mad that they didn't put 128 gigs. They only went with 64. You only got an extra 32. Why not go further? Add 128, then no one would ever have to worry for a long time about buying a fucking micro SD card. That's the kind of stuff you'd be mad at. But if you're mad at Nintendo for not putting a 4K DLSS new silicon on chip in there, you can't be mad at Nintendo for that. Yeah, that's a good point. If there was just a bunch of, some people say they're happy with the lineup. I've seen the guy today said it's the best first and third party lineup on a Nintendo console ever, in his opinion. I don't agree with that. Now, this year you haven't heard me complain too much. The first half of the year I did, but there's a bunch of games coming out. Are they all appealing to me? No. Metroid Dread's the only one I'm gonna buy for this year, the whole year, for the Switch, and that's gonna lead us into the next thing I want to talk about. Couldn't care less about OLED console. I want to see more console games come out. Still wait for the new Mario Kart and Donkey Kong since 2014. Exactly. Super Crack Pro Daves is now saying the real Switch 2 will come with Metroid Prime. Just fucking... That dude just... I don't know why he has so many subscribers and gets so many views, but... damn it. Well, I got distracted. I was just about to transition into kind of a different topic. I will talk about the game thing real quick because I kind of got into that. Some people are happy with first party output. This year, like I said, Metroid Dread is my game. So they had Bowser's Fury, which is solid looking, smaller 3D Mario game. Just it's locked behind a $60 paywall for 3D World. I see it for $45 on Best Buy on eBay. Their Best Buy's eBay page. Almost bought it. I'm probably gonna pick it up. So that's locked behind a $60 paywall. I'll talk about games being locked. That's a $30-$40 game locked behind a $60 game. Yeah, if you've never played 3D World, it's a must buy. But for those that have it. Bravely Default 2, they published that in the U.S., and I don't know how much they funded of that or not. The development. Then they paid for timed exclusive for Monster Hunter Rise. Not a bad start, really. I mean, there's nothing really much to say there in the negative. We knew Monster Hunter Stories 2 was coming, which I think's this week or next week. I seen a review hit. And then Mario Golf looked promising. That's the thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I know Bowser's Fury was cool. For 45, I'm probably gonna pick it up. I was hoping to find it under 40, but we'll see. I got a couple other games to finish first, so I'm not like super. It's not like I need it right now. But so yeah, Nintendo put out Mario Golf, and the Juice Loose crew was pretty excited. We kind of talked about this a little bit on the podcast, but turns out, I think, who picked it up? Terrell and Robert, I think, are the only ones. Clock that still wanted it, but it turns out it's just another, what I would call, meh effort. Like, it looks like it's a solid game. It's not trash or anything. Let's see, one thing that the 12-year-olds believing these gold pulse shifts. Hell, I teach 12-year-old kids, and they are smarter than Super Metal Stands. All right, I gotta stop reading. I gotta pull a T. I'm gonna have to finish my thoughts and then read the chat. But so Mario Golf, the reviewers almost unanimously said, well, it feels a little mid-tier budget, a little lower budget. The effort doesn't, the production value isn't really there. The sound, there's a lot of like low quality, overused sound samples for your characters, shouts and music and sound effects are just very average at best. Mario games should at very least have amazing music. Should have higher quality sound design. Nintendo's always been on the forefront of like technology. Believe it or not, as somebody who pays attention to this stuff, since the N64, GameCube, Wii, Nintendo's always pushed the boundaries for the tech in their systems. So when the GameCube came out, they didn't have a optical for 5.1 Dolby Digital. So what'd they do? They partnered with Dolby, and Dolby Pro Logic 2 support was in there, so you could get 5.1 with just 2 analog left and right audio plugged in to your receiver. You had to have a new receiver. You had to go out and buy one. But every single game they put out had Dolby Pro Logic 2 support, even at launch. Some progressive scan, and a good chunk of them had widescreen support. On the GameCube, if you had the component cables, you had progressive scan, 16:9. They always were there. The Wii, again, full 16:9, progressive scan. Dolby Pro Logic 2 was still supported. They pushed the Wii as far as they could. The Wii U, they have uncompressed, true, 5.1 surround. All their games supported it. All their games were 720p to 1080. Most of them were 60 frames per second. They were always pushing their games as much as the systems would allow. They're always pushing their systems. Now, I know Clocked It very smartly pointed out that the Switch wasn't Nintendo's system. That NVIDIA made. Basically, it was just stock NVIDIA components. So it wasn't Nintendo designing the system, and I don't know if that affects them actually wanting to like get all about it. Try to push it. For the most part, you got like Kirby, Yoshi's Crafted World, Super Mario Party, Mario Tennis Aces. Now you have Mario Golf. They're just kind of lacking in some, whether it's content, whether it's just like the production value. Like Alex says the single player was mediocre in golf. I thought the single player was lame in Mario Tennis Aces. That was like a big thing. You get 6 courses with the golf, and they promise a New Donk City course. Like, and then there's two battle map modes, and I get, from just going off reviewers, they're pretty much the same thing. And a couple play sessions there, it was like, yeah, okay, that was fun. Now what? So yeah, we had surround sound as good as it could. But when you play like Call of Duty, if you go from Xbox 360 with Dolby Digital to the Wii, it wasn't even close. But they did the best they could with what they had. I don't know why Nintendo be making Mario Golf games ignoring Mario Strikers. I mean, a lot of people have been asking for Strikers. At this point, I'm not confident that a Mario Strikers would be a, anything above an average game, just like the rest of these games. You thought Aces was better? I thought it was just like, here, play some tennis against this thing with these obstructions in the court. I don't know, man. It didn't work for me. So if Mario Golf is worse single player, and then the other thing for me personally, and this is gonna hurt some people's feelings probably, I'm not big into the arcade like experiences in the home. I never have been. A couple times I bought Dreamcast games that were like that, and I wasn't, I didn't realize Crazy Taxi was just going to be an arcade game, like an hour long, 2 hour long, like arcade game where if I'm not putting quarters in, and I'm not surrounded by other people and all that stuff, I don't want an arcade experience in the home. I never have. So when I watch Mario Golf, what is it, Super Rush? When I watch gameplay, and I hear and these annoying ass noises, and then you hit it, it's like, ping, nice shot, like, that's not what I want. And I wish you could turn that off. And I think when you play with the motion controls, you don't get that meter, you don't get those, and they're annoying sound effects, basically what it boils down to. When I downloaded Virtual Fighter 5 on the PlayStation 5 for free, and I played like 4 rounds, 4 battles, and it was just that, your select a character, really loud, like, I don't know, harsh sounding arcade noise. Like when you pick a character, I don't know, I'm doing a terrible job with trying to reproduce it. I'd never liked that kind of stuff in a home environment. If I buy a game, I don't really want that experience. Like I said, that's probably not going to be, some people don't want to hear that, but it's just not appealing to me. What I want in a Mario Golf, if you're not going to have great music, have great atmospheric sounds. I want to hear the sound of the club hit the ball. I want to hear the ball hit the grass and roll through the grass. Maybe some clapping. But then, even in that game, the clapping is so low quality. Like, it's such a poor, low quality sound effect. It just tells me that they didn't put a lot of effort in this game. So that's what I'm saying. Even this year, with the second half being plenty of games, I have a feeling, I hate to say it, I have a feeling it's going to be a similar effect with even Mario Party. The new Mario Party looks visually great, but it's a remake of old games. It's like it has online, and it has what, 4 or 5 N64 boards. I don't know what it has for like the other systems. Does it have GameCube and Wii boards? I don't know. I just feel like they're all like mid-tier, shorter development cycles, small budget games, that Nintendo's pushing out that were fine on a DS or on a Game Boy Advance or on a 3DS. But a lot, there's people play these. Like, I have 65-inch OLED. I have a 5.1 surround sound. My chat stopped updating. Why does it keep doing that? It's like the 4th time it's done that, where I see it on the stream, but my chat that I popped out isn't updating. So let me try not popping it out. Let's see. This is one of the rare cases I want to remake because I want the series to return to what was good. What game are we talking about? Mario Party looks cool. Oh, Mario Party? What are you talking about? You forgot about max quality? What is that? You're always speaking about stuff, man. I don't know what you're talking about. max quality in surround 5.7. I'll just say that even the Switch, even the Wii U with their uncompressed audio, it's uncompressed in that the signal isn't, there's no algorithm applied to shrink the file. But Nintendo compresses the audio on the disc, on the cart, so that the file size of the game is small. So even though it's technically uncompressed PCM audio, it's compressed before it even gets to, even before it gets outputted. What's the file size for like Odyssey? Like 2 point something gigs or 4 or 5 gigs? This a Mario orchestrated soundtrack. I'd be fine if that took 10 gigs just for the sound. I would gladly take bigger file sizes if that meant truly high res audio. And that's one of the things I love about the PS5 was that it has a whole chip that's more powerful than the entire PS4 CPU, just dedicated to audio. Equalizer with volume, you turn one of them up at no. You shouldn't be using equalizer. Equalizer should be pretty much flat. Equalizers are only, I used to mess with those, but anyway. State of play, I thought it was a really good state of play. Considering what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be Deathloop in 2 games. I thought it was a really good state of play, honestly. I thought it was better than Nintendo's E3, to be honest. But I wasn't expecting much. It didn't show it. It showed some really cool stuff, some of which we've already seen. Deathloop actually looks really cool. I don't think I'll pick it up, but it actually looks pretty cool. Sifu looks awesome. That fist game, after I missed it, I was going to the bathroom. And, all of a sudden I come back and I see Clocked Retro talking about it. So I thought that was pretty good. So, yeah, anyway, that's the thing. I just feel like even when Nintendo's putting out games, it's not to the level that I expect for a home console experience. Like somebody, like T said, it's a Trojan horse console. It's a handheld at, pretending to be a console. And there's a lot. I said it back in 2019. I know you guys, T and the rest of the guys laughed at me. I said 2019's like some of their biggest games, or was it 2018? I think it was 2018 into 2019 because it's 2019 because Fire Emblem had its, resurrection on the 3DS. And then we got, Animal Crossing is supposed to come out. The 2 biggest Animal Crossing games were on handhelds. And a lot of Animal Crossing fans, believe it or not, if you didn't want to believe it or not, were from the DS and 3DS version. It sold well on the GameCube and the Wii, but when I seen people play Animal Crossing in my life, I encounter people playing it, they're always playing on handhelds. So I said that Link's Awakening was a handheld Game Boy game, and I received some flack for that because it is a little bit of a stretch because Animal Crossing has been on home consoles. Zelda's not a handheld only, but a Link's Awakening was only ever on handhelds. And now we're kind of seeing that with WarriorWare, with Advance Wars, Monster Hunter. Even though there was a Monster Hunter on Wii, there was in the Wii U, I think, was the port of the Wii version, if I'm not mistaken. What other game? I feel like there's one other game that kind of fits into that, But yeah, it was inevitable because the Switch is a success. It's going to have a long life. There's going to make sequels to 3DS games. It's not just going to be Wii U, sequels and all that. So it was inevitable. I'm saying I think it did again. Let's see. Nope, that one popped up. I already have a Switch. I'm planning on getting Series X, but I can't find one in stores here in Sweden. Prepare for the NX 2.0 rumor mill to start. Nice. $60 more. You can get a Series S with a month of Game Pass. Why buy another Switch? $60 more. What are you talking? Are you talking about the S? I don't know, man. The S is a tough sell. I think the S is a tough sell. The Series S. The biggest problem is its lack of memory. I don't even think you can put Call of Duty. Not that that's, you wouldn't buy the S if you care about Call of Duty, but I think the S, if it had the terabyte at 300, I think would have been much more appealing. But 500 gigs at, and there's 100 pre-allocated, so I think the usable memory is like 340, 320. Um, it's just a weird thing. I don't know anybody that talks about the Series S other than Digital Foundry has to include it in their analysis videos. Otherwise, I think the system would just fade away into oblivion. But I would. Oh yeah, 350. So you're saying 400. So you're saying the Series S Plus gamepad. I think I would look at it more like the PS5 digital for $50 more than the Switch OLED. Like I think that's where it really starts to show the flaws of the price. So let's talk about the Switch OLED. I'll talk about the reveal. I'll talk about what I think about it, what I think's good, and then the one thing I really think could elevate it to a point where I honestly would even consider upgrading to it. I think the Series X is. I figured they'd start being more available by now because I got the one for T. I got yours really easy. I haven't tried since. I don't know if it's been harder or not. But anyway, the Nintendo Switch OLED comes out, and it's a nice looking system. I like the bigger screen with the less bezel. I like the new dock with the curves. I think, does it have an LED? I can't tell if the Switch dock or the OLED dock has an LED light or if it just was a reflection. It'd be cool if it had an LED light in front. Someone mentioned looks like there's some openings for cooling. I think that's just, I don't know what that's actually going to do. If there's no fan or nothing sucking hot air away, I just don't know. They need to have a heat sink and then like some tubes going to a fan in the dock if they're really worried. But it's cool. 9-hour battery life. Somebody who has a day one Switch, 3 hours max. If I'm playing a game, I'm not getting more than 3 hours unless, I don't know what use I would. Maybe with Mario Maker 2 I was getting like 3.5, 4. But so you get nice battery life. It looks nice with the screen, less bezel. Like I said, looks nice. The kickstands are a really nice improvement. Probably should have been like that from the start. The original kickstand's a joke. Like I said, the dock looks nice. For me, I have the white PS5 and I have a Series or a Xbox One S that's white. In my Switch, I put a white shell on, so it fits my color scheme. And then the Ethernet port in there, obviously that makes sense. So it's not a terrible system at all. Like, just looking at it, what it does, it's a pretty compelling revision of the Switch. The problem comes in is when they have the price at $350. Yeah, I'm sure the kickstand mechanism increased the price. You can put more memory, which at this point 64 gigs should cost the same as what 32 was in 2017. I don't care who you are, what evidence you have, unless you have actual, like, god damn it, this chat stopped updating again. I don't know why is it it's never done this before. Oh, it's like I'm getting it quicker on OBS on the stream than I am on the actual chat. But anyway, 64 gigs of memory, that shouldn't increase the cost. But the kickstands obviously is more involved. That could raise the cost. The OLED screen, I don't know what that entails price wise, but it doesn't have to have backlighting. So I can't imagine the OLED screen's that much more. And then the dock improvements, it's still just plastic. It's still just injected mold and plastic. There's nothing really new about it other than they had to design a new one and have new ones manufactured. I'm sure it's very similar cost. The LED light maybe adds a few bucks. Ethernet port, probably cheaper than the USB 3. port, to be honest. So I can't really get by on the $350 price point, and T said it perfectly. More than likely, it's $350 because they didn't want to reduce the cost of the standard Switch. That's just all. I think that's just what it boils down to. You don't want to drop the standard Switch to $250. So how do you have an OLED screen version be the same price? So something had to give, and what had to give was our wallets, because $350 seems to be. I think the Series S and OLED are both equally hard sells. Especially the OLED at the price. The OLED Switch at $300, pretty easy sell. Series S with some, where you don't basically have to have some kind of external memory immediately. I think that would be a better sell with a terabyte for me personally. I mean, but still, no disk drive. I think the thing's absolutely worthless. I can't see like any scenario where I'd ever buy a Series S. If it had a disk drive, yeah, I hook it up to my 1080p projector, get some current gen games that run better than my 1S for $300. That would have been, even without the memory, the disk drive to me would have been pretty good. So just like with the Switch OLED, there's things I like about it. It's small, compact, quiet, but without the disk drive, there goes your backwards compatibility stuff, like, out the window. Same with the PS4 or PS5 digital. It's like, unless you had a bunch of digital games. So for me, it's the price tag, $350. How do you justify that? Who's this for? I see a lot of people, a lot of defendos saying, if you already own a Switch, this isn't for you. Why are you even worried about it? It's not for you. Why isn't it for me? I have a day one Switch that has 3-hour battery life. Why is this OLED just immediately not for me because I already own a Switch? Like, I just hate that. We need to defend this, and what's the best defense? Well, we'll just say it's not for you. What's your argument? Well, I wanted it to be for me. I love OLED. My OLED TV is amazing. My buddy was over the other day. He doesn't even care about TVs. He has like my old Sony, which was 2014, 1080p, and he still watches DVDs over. He won't even watch Blu-rays. He watches the DVDs. He burns DVDs. He rents and buys stuff off Amazon, streams movies and stuff, TV shows, and he gets the SD standard def version because it's cheaper. He says there's no difference. But he saw my OLED yesterday. I was just showing him the PS5 menu and stuff, and he just was like, that TV is legit. Like, just interrupted me. I wasn't even talking about the TV. To me, I was so used to it 2 years later. He's like, that TV is legit. So an OLED screen could have been a game changer. Should have been a game changer for the Switch and for getting people who care about visuals, who care about stuff, to want one immediately. And they missed the mark in a couple ways, and I'm going to go over my idea. And I had a discussion in the Juices Loose chat, and a couple of people didn't agree, but I'll tell you what it is. You guys tell me what you think. So I'm even thinking you keep the price $350. For me personally, this would be enough of a change on top of all the other improvements. I'd want to play in portable mode more. I would actually consider getting the OLED model even at $350. If they did one thing. It won't cost them anything. I don't know if it's an easy sell at $350, but here's the way it could have been an easy sell. For the people who don't care about having 9 hours of battery life. To me, 9 hours of battery life is just, it's twice as long as it needs to be. Because unless you're on a long flight or a long car ride, like, you're going to have access to a charger. So for me, I would add an option. Remember, option, not make it required. An option for the user to say, hey, I don't need 9 hours battery life. I'm good with 2, 3, 4. Give me the option to play the Switch in portable mode as if it's still docked. So instead of it dropping down to 420 megahertz, whatever GPU speed, leave it at 760 like it is in docked mode. So what that gives you, in the negative side of it, is only the battery life, and I don't even know it wouldn't. I don't even think it'd be cut in half. So now you're getting the docked performance. So most games will be 720p. Like like some games are already 720p, but a lot of third-party games like Hellblade, The Witcher, Hellblade drops to like 360p. Hellblade's almost unplayable in portable mode. That OLED screen's not going to help that. So just hear me out. So now you're getting at least mostly 720p games, 900p, 1080p games on a 7-inch 720p OLED. That is going to look stunning. Now, there will be games that already look stunning. Smash, as is going to look stunning on the OLED. Mario Odyssey's probably going to look stunning. 720p native, 60 frames per second. It's going to look stunning with the amazing black levels, amazing colors of OLED. But for all the other games, like Doom Eternal, or Doom 2016, they run pretty close to 720p in docked. In portable mode, it's like 480, 360. So now you're getting, more native 720p games on this OLED. I honestly believe, even like the third-party games, even like The Witcher, Hellblade, because Hellblade looks pretty good docked. It just looks terrible in portable mode. So if you had the docked version of Hellblade on a 7-inch OLED, I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be comparable to at least the PS4 version running on a big screen TV. Maybe even the PS4 Pro version. Games are going to look incredible, especially the games that run at 1080p in docked. Now you're getting 1080p downsampled to 720p. It's going to look fucking incredible. And the cost is, you have to boost the clock speed by like 300 and something megahertz. The chip is more than 2 times more powerful than the original Switch. So this new chip could run docked clock speed for the GPU and still probably get 4 to 5 hours battery life. And still have more battery life than the original Switch running in just just in portable mode. To me, that would be, you'd have to see it to believe it, but here's a way you can see it now and get an idea. So if you have a standard Switch, play a game. If you have one of these third-party games, if you have Doom, any of the Dooms, Hellblades, Witcher, any of these major third-party games, take a bunch of screenshots while you're in dock mode. Record a video while you're in dock mode, and then undock your Switch. Go into your folder and view those photos on your Switch's screen in portable mode. They look really good. The video clips, even though they're really low quality, they look really good. You want to take it a step further, open the YouTube app. Watch Metroid Dread gameplay on the Treehouse at 1080p 60 on your Switch in portable mode. That's how it could look if and it would look even better on the OLED, on this bigger screen with those amazing black levels. It would look even better. That's how it would look playing docked version of games in portable mode, and it wouldn't even be half the battery life. It'd be 40% of the battery life probably. So if you get 8 hours, probably get 4.5 to 5 hours. That's just some rough math out. Maybe it's closer to 4. Maybe the fan has to kick on more, and maybe it'll drop it to 4. But give us the option. I mean, would anybody here be mad if there was an option? It would cost them nothing. The game developers wouldn't have to do anything. They're already developing, the game's already developed to work in docked mode, and you lift off your Switch, you just toggle, say, hey, I don't want my Switch to change when I lift it and play it in portable mode. I want it to stay the same, docked or portable mode. You lift it up, nothing changes, and now you have this game looking amazing Luigi's Mansion 3, I mean, and it'd be nice if they did HDR. OLEDs are amazing for HDR. That would actually take an update. They'd actually have to update games to add HDR. So that would actually take work. What I'm suggesting, the only work involved is somebody programming a toggle in the options menu under video settings to just stop the Switch from downclocking the GPU when you take it off. I mean, I'm no programmer, but I kind of feel like they could get that done in a week. You know, a person could do that. It's just in the software patch. They could do it to the current Switch. You couldn't. I don't think they'd want to do it to the day one Switch, because the original Tegra is so inefficient compared. You'd probably get like an hour battery life, and it would be hotter. That's the other thing. Hackers hacked the old Switch 4 years ago, and they run it fully overclocked. So the CPU, instead of 1 gigahertz, runs at 2 gigahertz. The GPU runs at 986 or whatever megahertz, fully overclocked in portable mode, and the temperature went up to like, I think like 8-9 degrees Celsius for the even plugged in 3-hour session. Digital Foundry tested this. That's a huge. If you just leave the CPU at the 1 gigahertz and you bump the GPU, which Nintendo's done 3 times now, they've increased the GPU clock speed for portable mode 3 times. They did a small one. It started out like 303 and it went up to like 350 or whatever. And then it went to like 380, and now it's at like, I want to say 410, 420. So that like Mortal Kombat 11 could actually run at 60. They had to bump that up. So you're going from like 410, 420 up to 760 with a chip that's more than twice as efficient. It's a no-brainer to me. And I would actually want to play in portable mode more. Like I said, test it. Turn on your Switch. Watch, I don't know, it doesn't have to be Metroid Dread. Watch, trying to think of a more recent game, like Animal Crossing. Take screenshots of Animal Crossing and docked, view them in portable mode, and tell me that doesn't look better. That doesn't look really sharp and clean. And it would look amazing playing the game on your handheld, looking like those screenshots. Looking like the YouTube video. That's my idea. It costs them nothing. And if you need that 9 hours battery life, that'd be the default setting. You may not, like the casual may never know that other option exists and doesn't need to. They don't care. But for somebody who does care, and this is the final point I'm going to make, Nintendo chose to put an OLED screen, a high-end screen, in their Switch. They chose to do that. I don't know anybody that asked for that. They chose to put basically the best display technology out there right now in their Switch. And this is a way to take not full advantage of it, but to take a significantly more advantage of that better screen. Because it's going to be a better screen. I've had an OLED for 2 years, and I can tell you, it's amazing. The technology is amazing. The black levels, the colors, because the black levels are true black, the colors just pop that much more. And if they just go one more step and go HDR, like I said, that would require work. That would be something, that if that comes out, that it does that. And it might, like I said in the beginning, they might have some kind of overclock thing going on. And it just can still get 9 hours battery life. We don't know. But at this point, I don't see why not. I don't see why you don't make it an option. I don't think it has anything to do with that's not Nintendo's way, because they've already increased the clock speeds. They've already done it for portable mode. So why not go that extra step? Developers are still going to have their game developed to work on the day one Switch and in portable mode. Dock doesn't change no matter which Switch you have. The dock's always the same. So they still have to design their game exactly the same. The Switch hardware doesn't change. The software barely changes. Just one little toggle in the options, and there you go. And now you have, I would say, a significant improvement to image quality in portable mode. And I go back to Hellblade. Hellblade on the TV looks pretty good. I was surprised how it looked. When I take screenshots in docked and I look at them in portable mode, it looks as good as when I played it on PC at 1440p because of the small screen and it just, Robert won't believe me, but the smaller the screen, the better something looks. So going to a 7-inch screen and not changing anything is actually going to make games look worse. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is actually going to look worse if they don't do anything. Even though OLEDs are amazing, it isn't going to make 360p suddenly look good. So, I don't know, man. To me, that is like, it may not justify for you the upgrade, but at no additional cost, no additional effort, no additional manufacturing, nothing. I don't see why not at this point. And options, I mean, you can't be against options. I dare somebody to come up with a negative. And I forgot to point out the overclockers on the launch day Switch, just running the docked clocks in portable mode, only increased the CPU or the core temperature by like 3 or 4 degrees Celsius. It was still like mid 60 degrees Celsius. It's like ridiculously low. My CPU with a really nice cooler, I have 3 intake fans, 3 out, exhaust fans. And if I push my CPU, it easily gets to the mid to high 70s Celsius. And it's not even a danger till it gets near the high 80s, low 90s. So it's already been proven that the original Switch can do this, and no ill effects, no real increase in temperature, and then battery life was hit because it had the really inefficient version of the Tegra. So that's my idea. I think it would be just enough for me to want to, because I'm an OLED fan, to want to see what these games look like. Even like Mario Maker, even playing Metroid. I was playing the original NES Metroid through the Nintendo Switch Online on my 65-inch OLED. I said OLED. Looked, I want to say, incredible. It looked really good. Other than the Samus's little, her helmet and body looks a little shaped, is a little off. Game looked great. When I got to the final section, when the Metroid started showing up, and I'm just like, the background's black. You got like blue platforms. You got the green Metroid. You got Samus like purple suit. It all looked really good. So an OLED's gonna be a nice upgrade, and I can't stress that enough. Now, if I can get, like, I'm considering selling my Switch now, seeing if I can get, I don't even know what they're going for used, because they're not that hard to find. So if I could get, like, if somebody honestly would give me if I could get $250 for my Switch, so it'd be a $100 upgrade, I'd do it. Even though I don't play in portable mode much, even without them doing anything to the to the clock speeds or anything, I'm still tempted. That's if I could get like $250. So anyway, I don't know what else to say other than the original Metroid game is trash. Controls actually better than Super Metroid. Believe it, you're gonna think I'm crazy. The original Metroid, I feel, controls better. The movement of Samus feels better than it does in Super Metroid. I felt like I was on ice skates in Super Metroid. I played it right after. The problem with Metroid is no map. A lot of the areas look identical, so you don't even know what room you're freaking in. You have to memorize. You have to actually write. Yeah, you'd actually have to get paper out and keep track of where you are. No save. No map. Like I said, no map, no save. When you die, you start back at the last elevator you were on with 30 health. So if you have 5 energy bars, so you have to spend 30 minutes shooting the guys that come out of the tubes over and over to get 5 at a time health and 2 at a time missiles. So I ended up using the suspend feature. I would spend all that time getting my health up, and then I would create a suspend point. So I didn't have to do that shit again. So that game with save stations and a map, I would actually prefer that over zero mission. The other issue, God, and I could make a whole podcast, a whole juice opinions about this. Why the hell am I experiencing 5 frames per second on Metroid, fighting Mother Brain on the Nintendo Switch? Why is it running at 5-10 frames per second? Slow down, like slow motion, everything. You telling me that are there purists out there that have to have? You can't just have an optimized 30 or 60, whatever the target frame rate was. You can't give me the option to play the OG with slowdown or experience the game without slowdown and see what it feels like, because that last boss fight was so frustrating. I was creating suspend points at every little section further I got closer to Mother Brain. That's where I was like Obi-Wan with the suspend points. Oh, I only used 5 missiles, got to through the next area. You got to shoot this thing like 7 times. And then it opens up and it's gone forever. But if you stop shooting it, it goes back to full size. So then I was like, get through. I'm like, bloop, ZRLR, create suspend point. So I started with 80 missiles. The first time I got to Mother Brain, I had 6. So obviously that wasn't enough. The next time I got to Mother Brain with 12. And then I got 26. And then the last time I got 40. And I was like, yep, creating a save. And then I actually beat. And I'm like, I don't know how people played that game. The only way to play with the Nintendo Power. Yeah, there's areas, literally main paths, where you have to bomb just one spot, one square out of the whole screen. You have to bomb it and drop down. There's no indication you can do that. There's no indication to do that. And that's for main parts of the game. It's fucking bullshit. But then I played Zero Mission right after, and I actually didn't care for it as much in a couple ways. One was the controls. I liked the way Samus moved in the air. I really had the timing. I could land on small little tiny ledges. Really, I could do that. You couldn't shoot down, you couldn't shoot up. So that was annoying, but I just really want the original Metroid with a map and save stations. I would play that. And then we had another debate earlier about Game Boy Advance versus Super NES. Game Boy Advance, I've never played a Game Boy Advance game outside of the Game Boy or DS. And yesterday I played Zero Mission on my PC through emulation. I have a 24-inch monitor. It's not even that big. I kept it 4x3. And I was like, damn, Game Boy Advance games. This was at 4 times upscale. And it's like, they didn't really use pixels. They use like big textures that are like low res for like the environments. The backgrounds are like 2 colors, black and a color. Like the backgrounds are definitely the weakest part of Game Boy Advance games. And I'm like, I prefer the Super Nintendo pixel based stuff. I don't care for what I'm seeing. Now there's some games, towards the end of the Game Boy Advance, Minish Cap was brought up. I'd have to see that. I'd have to download that one. But I was told it's not fair to judge Game Boy Advance games and Super Nintendo games on the same size screen. But actually, factually, just objectively, that is the only way to compare them. Because everything, anything looks good on a 2-inch screen. Super Nintendo is going to look amazing on a 2-inch screen. So if you put them side by side, same size screen, I truly believe the Super Nintendo wins out almost every time. Yeah, the Game Boy Advance had some techniques that Super Nintendo couldn't do. It could do some 3D stuff better. Like I said, it had textures, big textures, and versus everything being pixels. So anyway, that was just a little side thing. I want to beat the first Metroid 2, but it get lost easily. I just brought up a map online, a really high quality map. I meant to just look at where I was, but oh, that's where you get the ice beam. Oh, I'm real close to that. You know, I started using it. Um, it's the only way I was going to get through that game. I just wanted to get through it, see what it had to offer. I was really impressed with the Metroid. They're only at the very last few minutes of the game, but man, they make an impact when they show up. They're huge. They move different than any other enemy, and they latch onto you. I was impressed for an NES game. Some of the things they pulled off, and I'm glad I did it. I didn't feel like some great sense of accomplishment because I used the suspend feature, save point feature, whatever it's called. I pulled an Obi-Wan. Anybody knows that reference? Mario 64. He would create a suspend point like every 5 seconds, but I didn't do it like that. I probably used it 20 times total in the game, and yeah, I also have a white Xbox One S. Only came in white, but yeah, I just got it done. Now I'm playing Zero Mission. I still have to beat. Does Metroid 2 have a map on the Game Boy? One of them had the map the first time. I don't know if it was Super Metroid or Metroid 2. I really, this sounds sad, but I really don't feel the need to run through Samus Returns on the Game Boy or on the 3DS. I mean, it was cool, but I just got tired of fighting the same boss, chasing the same boss through different screens. I really just want to play Zero Mission and go straight to Super Metroid and then get into Fusion. We'll see. The biggest problem is I got to get a grip for my 3DS because I can't hold that. 3DS is more uncomfortable than the Switch, even with the standard Joy-Cons. I can't play the 3DS anymore. My hands, they get sore really easy. My wrist gets sore. I just can't put myself through that. So I might have to buy. Reported for pirating. Honestly, I had the emulator and Fusion downloaded and running in about 5 minutes after looking up what to do. It's just simple. And I own the game. I know that doesn't mean anything legally, but to me it means something. I have the game. I just bought a box for it. Metroid 2 does not have a map, but it has a counter to tell you how many Metroids you have to hunt. Okay. So does Samus Returns. I just didn't like the enemy repeating. Oh, this time it's a little bit, has some new abilities. Oh, it left the room. You have to go find it. Like, there's just things about the design. But once you get fully powered up and you can explore the whole map with the spin jump and stuff, yeah, I got to get a 3DS grip for the new 3DS because I know that's slightly different size. Does that help? Because if it does, I think I could get through Samus Returns that way. But yeah, I think Terrell, he was playing Zero Mission. It was funny watching him. Not quite. He was too stubborn. He doesn't realize that, hey, that jump, you can't even see the next ledge. Guess what? Move to the next area that quick. You don't want to spend time trying to. There's a hacked version with the original Metroid with map. I would look into that. Because it's not, honestly, I was impressed with how well it controlled. Metroid 2, I beat it a few years ago. It was easier to get into than 1. And the grip helps, I'm guessing. But Terrell, if you're watching this, I know you've got further in. Like, if you can't see the ledge and you can't get any higher, just move on, man. The game is telling you you're not ready to go into that area. And then if you have 3 ways to go and you can't, and you're like, I can't figure it, one of the paths has an ability or something you just got to know how to use it. And it's teaching you how to play the game. Switch, it has a cartridge insert. What are you talking? I don't know what you're talking about. We're talking about Metroid here. The red gun. What'd you say? Play the original? Oh, okay, that was you. I might, because there's Game Boy emulator. I'm sure it's going to be just as easy as Game Boy Advance. I'm thinking you need a separate emulator for all the Game Boys, but, like, let me share my screen real quick. Let me move this stuff over here. Let's see, pop out the chat. that's loud. Holy shit. That was loud. All right, let's see. Where do I share my screen? There we go. So, yeah, that's like really fucking loud in my ear. I don't know how it is for you guys. I turned it way down. Christ. So, like, I can't see my mouse, but you know, just like they're going for like it's more of a textured look. It's not pixels. Yeah, was that really loud for you guys? Because it blew my ears. I mean, it doesn't look. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't look terrible. So this looks too squashed. Let me stretch it a little bit. I don't like it fully stretched. But and I keep trying to use the analog stick. Why can't we save our Switch games? Am I getting hurt? The heat's not hurting me, huh? I got to this area. I can't grab the ledge yet. See how that background is just very simplistic. Even right above Samus there, you have above the yellow is like a blue with a slight shape. Yeah, I'm going to play Fusion after Super. It's not... I'm not saying it looks terrible, but Super NES had more details because of the pixel. Like this purple texture, it looks alright looking on the tiny screen to my right, but looking on the big screen, it's just 3 colors. It's 3 colors, and there's the background's 2 colors. Like pretty much, it's a very turn off smoothing. Let's see. Let me go to... I don't have any. So this is standard resolution here. That doesn't look better to me, but I don't have smoothing on. I just had the 4 times scaler. That's the only thing I have on. That's not stock. You really need to enter your scale handheld games on emulators. So I think, to me, this looks way too like the it looks too pixelated in a bad way. But let me try it at 2x. Maybe there's a nice middle ground. Either way, I will, to the day I die, I will not concede that Super NES, nice tea, Super NES looks far better than Game Boy Advance. I don't care. I don't care what you say. That's to me, it's just factual. I don't even oh, this is a new area too. I was gonna say, I don't remember this room, but I came from above. And this, honestly, this doesn't feel anything like the original. Oops. This doesn't feel anything, fuck you, like the original game. The level design is different. Super Metroid actually feels more like a remake of the original Metroid than this does to me. I do have the bomb. Oh, you gotta get shot. That tells me there's a cannon somewhere. Alright. I don't know why I'm in the morph ball trying to get up there. Yeah, this area doesn't look familiar at all to anything I played in the original, so I don't know. I can't jump high yet either. Yeah, NES, Super NES, high resolution, and I think just higher quality. More colors. Okay, I can't go there. Shit, I didn't try to go to right, did I? I'm just going to take this elevator just because. Welcome to the Zero Mission stream, everybody. See if anybody's still here. Where's my viewer count? Oh, 17 people. All right. So where did this take me? Oh, completely new area. Even though I played this game and beat it back in the day, I don't want to fall in that water. It's one of those, it's just the beauty. Yeah, it's not jittery. It's pretty smooth. Definitely smoother than fucking the original game. I don't even know what this frame rate is. It's pretty fast. LOL juice for what? I can't grab ledges yet. But anyway, I played this and beat it, but I don't remember. I don't remember shit about it. Oh, Chozo ruins. Oh shit, I don't have anything to blow that up. Well, let's see if I can I don't think this game has any soft locks. Is this gonna be like the statues of all the bosses? No, such unknown item. That's what we like. We like unknown items. Item incompatible with current suit. Okay. Can I get out of here? Please tell me. Yeah, welcome to the Zero Suit stream. I kind of feel like I'm not going to be able to get out of here. You use read for emulation form option in the emulator. I'm fine with it. I'm not going to take this emulation stuff too seriously. Oh, okay. I can shoot those. See, this game's always teaching you something. We'll try to have the echo ability to see if walls break. I think they already showed that. Uh-oh. Did I go somewhere I'm not supposed to be? Am I stuck? I think I might be stuck. You can get out of there. Yeah, how? Can't bomb. I don't think I can. Not without the high jump or... Oh, there we go. What is that going to do? Nothing. I can't get in there. Can I jump? There. Oh. Oh, look at that. You're playing a game in an arcade cabinet. Look at that. Figured that shit out. Now I can shoot this. Look at the skills. Look at this guy's skills. Metroid master right here. Oh. Feel like I'm not supposed to be here. This is gonna fall. Oh no. Damn you. What's up? There's always a way out. Oh, that's a one-way path. See, like I can't even tell what's a block and what's in this. Nope. I thought maybe. I definitely feel like I shouldn't have came here. There's always a way. Oh, what's this? Power grip. See, this is fun. Couldn't do this without emulation, guys. Well, I could if I had a capture card and bought the Wii U version or a Game Boy player on GameCube. That was for Game Boy Advance, wasn't it? T, you still here? That was Game Boy Advance, wasn't it? The Game Boy player. Never had one. Yeah, this feels so different from the original. I swear the Super Metroid feels more. Yeah, that's wall part. That's definitely the hardest part in Super Metroid was the wall jump. I agree. It's trash. I wasn't very good at it. It was unreliable. I just really feel like I'm not supposed to be here. But I played this back when it came out. I borrowed it from a friend. This reminds me of Super Metroid. What? Oh, my ship. Nice. I don't really love the ship design in this game. Just gonna throw that out there. So yeah, that was fun. I gotta figure out how to get this top because if I make it full screen, it's all stretched. Oh, plus it's cut off for you guys. There. I love how the music skips. I could, nope. Save complete. So I'm playing Metroid Zero Mission with a, I just realized my camera, you guys can't see me. Let's see. No green screen. No. Game capture. It's one way. I forgot I changed the resolution. This would be one way. I'll just play this for a little bit longer. I'm just messing around. Let's see. Shift. Nope. Alt. Make it small. Put that here. Put the chat over it. There we go. There we go. Put that over here. Look at that. Instant streaming. Except the chat's covering up my face a bit. It's probably alright. Make it shorter. I love OBS. There's so many cool options. On the fly here. Yeah, just change the chat height. Not by much. But anyway, I'm going to play this for... I ain't going to play it for too long. I'm already forgot the beginning. Like, oh, I can get up here. But I love these games because it's like, it's frustrating when you're stuck. But just having to figure out, okay, I got 3 paths. Yeah, which way should I go? Oh, I remember I saw Terrell in this room or on his stream. Alright, so now I'm back. What's the blue versus the green? Let's go down. Norfair. You recently bought all the Metroids on Wii U. I thought about it. Ooh, I can go all kinds of new spots. But then I was like, I think it's $10. This started the whole debate with Clocked It and I. I'm like, I bought Metroid Prime Trilogy for $20 on Wii U. I just don't feel right about buying a Game Boy Advance game for $10. I don't know. It's not graphics whoring. Since I already own it, it didn't feel right to me. Oh, grab that ledge. Missile capacity. I love how it shows, a circle, so you know there's something. Oh, shit. No! It's funny watching Terrell. He couldn't even jump out of lava because he was tapping A like he does instead of holding. Yeah, the design of Samus is just so simplistic. Like I said, it worked great on the small screen. Metroid Rogue. I actually think the original Metroid plays like a roguelike, because you die, you lose all your health down to 30. You know what I mean? You can't do shit with only 30 health, and you basically have to build your health back up. Let me see. Alright, so I got the thing. It would be nice to have this on Switch. It'd be nice to have Fusion on Switch. I would have bought it on Switch. It's nothing against the Wii U. Just the convenience of having it already hooked up to my TV upstairs. Being able to play lying down in bed. Metroid veteran right here. Even though I had never played the original. I never beat the original until last night. I never played it past getting the Morph Ball, I don't think. Maybe the Long Beam. Whoops. Look at that. I was talking about how good I am, and then I almost got hit because I was pressing the wrong button. but I avoided it. Oh. Those things are just crucial to the original. It's your only way to get health and stuff, really. Alright, I'm going to get back to save. I'm going to call it a day. Thanks for you guys for tuning in. But yeah, didn't get a lot of comments when I was talking. Yeah, building your health by shooting 1,000 bugs. Dude, you get 5 health, and they drop 1 and maybe every 3 that you kill. It's just so fucking annoying. So let's exit. Let's go back to full screen cam. Yeah, so good fun stream. And but yeah, like I said, not too many of you really replied when I was talking about my idea for having the Switch OLED run at docked specs, which is just the GPU change, in handheld mode, so that takes more advantage of the OLED. Like, as somebody who, I'm not gonna say I'm an expert or anything, I pay attention to this stuff. I know the ins and outs of OLEDs. I've watched in-depth reviews over and over before I bought one. I've had one for 2 years. I know it's already an upgrade without anything else changing, but just so many times I open my Switch or turn it on in portable mode and I look through my screenshots and I'm just like, damn, I wish that's what Breath of the Wild looked like when I played it in handheld mode. I wish that's what Hellblade looked like when I played it in handheld mode. I had to stop playing it in handheld mode because it was so blurry. My eyes were watering, like legit. It's one of the games that's the opposite. Most games look good in handheld, and you put it on the TV, it looks blurry. For me, it was the opposite. Hellblade looks decent in docked, and it's so blurry in handheld mode. It's ridiculous. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, that's another one. Does not look great in handheld mode compared to docked. So, I don't know. It's an idea. It literally costs nothing for Nintendo. There's no negatives, and it's not a huge selling point, but to me, it would make the OLED version special in that regard. And I would actually pick one up and be tempted and probably play handheld mode a lot more. So that's my take. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Had to get some of the Switch Pro OLED views. That's the thing to do. Let's see. Until I know the eShop is an iTunes-like store that can be transferred from one system to another, I'm buying a few eShop games as possible. I made this comment and I really fully fleshed it out. I've made the decision to not buy any third-party games on Switch and to not buy any more digital games on Switch. Even though I said I would buy Metroid, I would have bought Zero Mission and Fusion. That would have been depending on the price too. I don't plan on buying anything until Nintendo proves that your shit's going to carry over to the next system. I know I'm a Sony pony in a lot of people's eyes, but going from PS4 to PS5, for me, I haven't got a Series X yet, but for me, was the best transition from one console to the next, or right there with the Wii U. I mean, it was slightly better than the Wii U because it doesn't have to boot up a separate mode to play PS4 games. You just put in a PS4 game, play on PS5, and in most cases you get higher frame rate. You get quicker loading times, The fact that everything was there, all I had to do was select all, download my save files, took 10 minutes, a one-time deal. Yeah, I should have done it automatically, but there are some games I might not want the save file for, so I'm not mad at the option. It's a one-time, like I said, deal. Having a new system that just you log in and everything's just there, your games just work, your backwards compatibility just works, the controller just works. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to You know, with the Wii to Wii U, you had to have a sensor bar hooked up. You had to have Wii remotes. And then it had to boot up Wii mode separately. Why it couldn't just run the Wii U, couldn't just run the Wii games, I don't know the technical reason. Um, I'm sure the Series X was seamless. My Xbox One, when I got it, there weren't any games that I had where cloud save worked. Now I booted up Black Ops 2 and my save file was there, so they did get that implemented. I don't have a lot of games or save files on my 1S, so my Series X purchase is only going to be like Ori and Forza Horizon 4, and a couple others like Titanfall 2. There's only going to be like 4 games I'm transferring over, but still, having that experience and it be as seamless, and it's just like the only issue I have is that some PS5 upgraded games, the save files don't transfer over. I don't know if that's the same on Series X. I doubt it. That is the only negative with this backwards compatibility on PS5. So anyway, if Nintendo does that, you put in your Switch cartridge, it just plays. Save files are there, your account's there, all your purchases are there. Then I will feel confident buying digital games from Nintendo. I mean, until then, I regret massively that I bought Mario Maker 2 digitally for Switch. Because I don't play it anymore. It's one of those. It's definitely better than the original, but it doesn't have without the Miiverse. It doesn't have the same community. It doesn't have the lasting appeal because that's one of those. Didn't need a sequel. That should have been a live service type situation. Just keep add the 3D World stuff. Like, you shouldn't have to buy a separate game. You want to talk about a Trojan horse? That's a Trojan horse sequel. That's a Trojan horse port as a sequel. Like, it's listed as a sequel, but it's really an enhanced port of the original game. So my point is, I might have sold that if I had bought it physically. Either way, it's going to be probably stuck on my Switch. I know I hate saying that, but I mean, the fact that I don't have the physical version, this digital version, if they don't carry over to the next system, my Switch dies, I might as well have never owned the game. But anyway, thanks for everybody for tuning in. I'm going to wrap this up. It went way longer than I planned. I thought it would be under an hour. Then, of course, I started playing Metroid. But yeah, so thanks you guys for tuning in. It's been fun chatting with you, and curious if anybody's getting a Switch OLED. I didn't even ask that question. So for those that stayed to the end or watching this on the replay, feel free to leave a comment. Are you getting an OLED? What do you think the price should be? I would, $350. Take that $350, put it towards an actual OLED TV, and play your Switch docked. That's gonna be a better upgrade than buying the Switch OLED, because like I said, I was playing the original Metroid and it looked pretty good. So Smash Bros. Looks amazing on an OLED TV. Wait for Black Friday. If you can't do a 65, the 55-inch dropped, I want to say it was like $1,300 last year, so it might get closer to $1,200, $1,100 this year. So I would highly recommend. I don't care if you're playing on Wii U. I don't care if you're a retro gamer, or if you got a Series X or PS5, or maybe you just have the base PS4. Get an OLED TV. It makes everything look better. I can honestly say I overpaid for mine. They went 3 years without a major price drop, and of course, after I bought mine 4 months later, it got a $1,000 price cut, and it stayed pretty much around that since, for the normal price. Even overpaying for it, it's still the best electronic purchase I've ever made. It hasn't disappointed me. The smart TV is super fast. The remote, the wand, the Wii remote style remote control with the pointer. It's got a roller wheel. It's an amazing TV, and it's watch some videos because there's a lot of stuff to learn. But 4K, I mean, there's good 4K non-OLED TVs, but if you want the best, you want the best TV for gaming, you want the best TV for HDR, you want the best TV for movies or whatever. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm just saying, get an OLED, put that $350 towards OLED TV. Start saving now. Get it Black Friday. So anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.